Appreciate y'all chilling and politicking and paying attention because it's real vital. You heard me? Trench Talk TV. So that's what it's gonna sound like. It ain't gonna sound like nothing sugarcoat. It ain't gonna sound like what you want to hear. It's gonna be Trench Talk.
All right. I want to welcome y'all to another episode of Trench Talk TV, where we aim to educate, explore, and exhibit perspectives from the trenches all over. And here today, man, we got a well-known recording artist, Big Head the Dome Doctor.
It's your boy, Big Head the Dome Doctor. I'm in the building. You already know what it is. Trench Talk TV. I'm straight out the trenches, so lock it in because it's finna get real trenchy. You heard me?
I mean that, man. Man, you got an interesting story, man. Where you from?
I'm from Southside Baton Rouge, but I'm born in Detroit, Michigan. But I came to Southside Baton Rouge when I was 9 years old on a Greyhound bus from the Greyhound station in Detroit, Michigan to the Greyhound station in Southside Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So it's like I came from and I landed where I landed, I stuck.
From a slum to a slum.
Right.
If you could remember, you say you moved over here, you came this way when you was 9 years old. If you could remember, how was life in Detroit?
Well, life in Detroit, at first it was like green grass in the summer and white snow in the winter. Like that's what I remembered at first.
Right.
And then it turned into the struggle. When the struggle hit, it was more like when crack hit, because crack hit in Detroit earlier than it hit in Baton Rouge.
Right.
See, crack didn't hit all the cities at the same time. It had to sweep through. So in Detroit, just think up north, it was already up there. So boom, there it went. And when crack hit, it turned to one color, and that was the struggle. It wasn't no more green grass, no more white winters. Like, the struggle just one solid color, and that's dark. So we went from Detroit to Louisiana, and it was different because, like I say, Detroit was the Young Boys Incorporated had just started, and I had older brothers, and it was like the drug dealers, they didn't care if you was in poverty or if you was struggling. They make sure they took your children. So what they would do is they'd get the moms first and see who they can string out. And then once the mom gets strung out, they'll take the children and make them sell it. So what my mom did so her sons wouldn't get took away was start letting them sell out our house. So like at 5, 6, 7, 8, like all those years I was raised with the police kicking our door in and taking my mama to jail, and when my oldest brothers got teenagers, they started taking them, and whoever was there, the drug dealers, all that. Like that happened 5 or 6 times before I even came to Baton Rouge. You know what I'm saying?
How many siblings?
I got 3 more brothers and 1 sister. My oldest brother named DeJuan, he in jail. My next brother named Brian, he just got out of jail, and my other brother named Percy, and he be in and out, but he kind of chilling right now. And my sister, she one right over me, her name Tiffany. We got the same mama, same daddy, 1 sister. Feel what I'm saying?
So you something like the youngest?
Yeah, I am the youngest. But like when we hit Baton Rouge and we had to make our way through the trenches, I made my own way through the trenches. So the trenches knew me. They didn't know my family.
Was your dad around any time in this time frame?
Bro, dad, grandpa, uncles, I'm gonna say the brothers too, but I got them. We can exempt them out of the situation because I never had no male figure in my life to show me anything. Not go bowling, not basketball, not nothing. It was just the trenches. Real life.
All right. So you a 9-year-old moving to Baton Rouge from a bigger city. How that transition was for you when you made it?
Well, it was kind of like, that was bad because like where we landed at was Southside Baton Rouge in the trenches, and by my people knew that we were coming, they was expecting somebody. Like, they was thinking, okay, they from up north and they from Detroit and we got family coming and boom, 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 boom. We didn't even have clothes to put on our back. So we didn't have food, we didn't have clothes. Like, I was hustling food on our ride from Detroit to Baton Rouge. I was hustling people in the stops because it took 3 days because we on the bus. So when we got here, like, our people was disappointed. So just imagine how you feel when you land and everybody thinking they finna see somebody, and then when they see us, they like, oh, really?
Smiles and turned into frown.
Yeah, they like, oh shit, like, what is this? And we instantly had to go live with this one, and I had to go stay with this one, and my sister had to go stay here, and my mama went MIA, and my brothers and them was trying to hang in there because they was a little older and knew about the streets, so they had to go straight in the streets. One of them went back, then one went straight to jail, and the other one went back when the other one went to jail. So there it was again, just me, and then my sister and my mom. Like, I had to run them down and get shelter for us to stay in together. Or other than that, it would have been, I'm in the streets the best way I can. My sister, who was 1 year older than me, in the streets the best way she could. And my mom, who done got overtaken by the drugs and the offers because she knew how to cook crack and they didn't even know what it was. So by her knowing how to cook it, that made a lot of people gravitate towards her. So the overwhelming, offers of drugs just blinded her from her children, like she didn't even have none, and she went straight behind that. And it was like, big head, you own your own. Like, I didn't go to school for a year. I didn't have no records or nothing for a whole year until people realized what was going on as a child. Like, when I first hit Baton Rouge, like, it was like just no man's land. And while other children going to school, only place I was going was the soup kitchen down the street for the Jews, because I knew it was down the street. You feel what I'm saying?
Talk about all the mud entertainment.
Right. Definitely. Talking about the trenches.
Was it somewhere in this time frame? I believe you got influenced by LL Cool J to start rapping.
Well, that was in Detroit.
Oh, all right. So you rapping before you come to Baton Rouge.
Right. So we can bag it up a little bit if you want to, because like I say, the courage. See, I got the courage from LL Cool J rap, because it was like, I'm bad, and stuff like that. And then he hit him with I Need Love, and I knew I needed that. I didn't know from where, but I knew I needed it. Like how he explained, he made me feel like everybody needed love at that point. And just think, I was probably 8 years old when it came out, but it was on the radio and I was by myself. I was lonely. Like, and that was coming on. I wasn't thinking about a girl. I was just thinking about like shelter, heat, lights, food, clothes, like that was love. When I was a little boy, that was love. That's how they showed love, by taking care of their children.
Right.
See, like now, I don't know what's going on, but that's what was love back then.
So you found some kind of peace in the music. Sound like it was
definitely.
Therapy.
Like I say, it was definitely my therapy, because it was my courage, and that's what I needed more than anything, was courage, because like we ran from Detroit, we ran in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? And I was just following my mom's or my brother's lead. And we was running. I wasn't built for running. I was like, I'm not cool with that. So once we got to Baton Rouge, I was like, I'm not running no more. Like, I'm gonna face whatever come my way, I'm gonna face it, even if I gotta face it by myself.
So Big Head the Dome Doctor was off the porch at 10 years old.
Definitely. Big Head the Dome Doctor was certifying other niggas that was 13 and 14 and 15 when I was 10 years old. Because at 9, I got their attention. Like when I went to doing what I wanted to do, like I ain't had no rules or regulations. And at 10, I probably was hanging in front of the animal house. And all the women in the animal house was lying, telling me, because they knew my struggle. They was like, just tell the man when he come out, you my son. And he gonna give you $1.50 or something like that. So I was doing that at 9 or 10.
Were you having any run-ins with the police at this time?
Well, run-ins with the police been...
What age did they start? Around that 10-year age?
Nah, about like I say, about 6. Because I went from being small enough when I first started seeing police and they first started kicking in our doors, I was small enough for them to hold me in their arms. But I still knew that I didn't want to be held by them, but I was small enough for them to hold me in their arms. I still would get up and strike out because it would scare the shit out of me. Just think you like 6 years old and the door come open, boom, and you land on the couch. You know, so I strike, and by the time I make it to the back, one of the police have been and caught me, but I'd be so small, they'd be holding me in their arms. And that's how I remember growing up, like, from that. Like, I might have the world record of police kicking in doors because I grew up with the same hustle, with the same, you know, thing. So, you know, they kicked in the door 5 or 6 times of my own, you know what I'm saying? But it started at 5, 6 years old.
All right. Growing up, you in the South, you run the streets now. Man, I heard you speak on a couple notorious names, man, from South Baton Rouge, such as Lee Lucas, Ivy, Bucky, Buck, Fat, Pig. You came up with these guys?
Definitely. And I feel things like that make me feel like that I was meant to tell a story. I was meant to be the chosen one or that nigga, because I actually know all these people personally and had relationships with these people personally, not knowing that life was gonna turn out to be the way it was.
For those who don't know, could you give us a snippet or a glimpse into who these guys were? Pig, Buck, and Fat?
Pig?
Yeah.
Okay, Pig, I met Pig in jail.
All right.
Now, Pig is not one of my rounds.
Okay.
But we was cool for, you know, like for a while. Unfortunately, I think Pig got killed, so rest in peace, Pig. But I met Pig in jail, his brother, and some more people. His brother named Lou. And they was on the charge together, him and 5 more people, Big Josh and some other dudes. And it was hard to have 5 people on the charge together without nobody telling, you know, because they was on a hard charge. But like, and I want to say Pig, I don't know if he was the youngest one, but he was the smallest one. And he was like he was solid. I want to say their whole situation turned out solid. But, you know, he was like the brains of that little situation, and he was the one trying to keep everybody calm that was on the charge with him, and eventually, you know, they all came home. So, you know, that's kind of the story that I know about Pig.
Ivy, Buck.
Now we're gonna go back to Ivory, because Ivory is a long list. Now, Ivory is like his grandmother, you know, like welcomed me in her home and christened me as her son. So his mother did the same thing, but it was because of the struggle. Now, I lived in Blanchard's Court, which was the trenches, and Ivory lived on the other side of the gate of Blanchard's Court, which was one step away from the trenches. Like when they say a thin line between the trenches and you know, like they stayed on the other side. Now it was still tight on them because, you know, I want to say Ivory daddy, shout out to Isaiah, he had a drug problem. So that left moms to carry the load. Ivory was like the middle child. She had Bucky and Kiki, then Ivory, then the twins. Now it's crazy because that's 2 Southside legends from one mother.
Right.
You know, Bucky and Ivory. But at the same time, like when Bucky had his regime, Ivory was in jail, and he was older than Ivory, and he was a gangster. Like when people say they was gangsters and don't give a fuck about nothing, he stood on that. Bucky stood on being a gangster.
Gotcha.
And it bothered him because he couldn't show no weakness. He couldn't show no love. He couldn't show love for me. He couldn't show love for his brothers. He couldn't show love for nobody. Like his mother, he had to show love. So he tried to stay away from her. He used to tell me, I don't want to go around my mom. I don't want to go around my mom. I'm like, Bucky, bro, you know you tripping, you da-da-da. But I understood, like, he was a gangster, and he knew his life wasn't gonna be long, because his biggest question was, is you gonna come to my funeral?
Why would you say he knew he wasn't gonna live long?
Because he was asking, is you gonna come to my funeral? Like, he wanted your word that you were coming. You feel me? Like, he was like, I just want to have a big gangster funeral, so, you know, you make sure you come, and I'm gonna make sure all y'all be there, and you know,
and
like.
I heard stories. He did have a funeral like he should have.
Probably, he definitely did. But you know, like I say, you know, you don't want to glorify a gangster, but you want to glorify him as his mama's child, as a person, as Kamar German, you know. But you don't want to glorify no gangster because you don't want people to think that that's what's up. But he really walked the walk. So I have to acknowledge that. And Buck did too. Bucky and Buck is two different people. Buck was younger than Bucky, but we all was from the South. Buck from a different end, but what my job was, like I said, I was certifying niggas at 10 years old. So around this time, 13, 14, I was uniting the whole uptown of the South. Like they had this end over here across the track, which where Buckland was at. Then they had downhill over here on 21st where Tyree was at. And they had over here across Government where Ivan was at. And then they had right there in the middle, 17, 16 where I was at. So what I did was, like I said, once my name was able to carry my weight, I started connecting the South because I was able to do that. Like I was able to cross the neighborhood barriers without paying the consequences because I was certified. You know what I'm saying? So I was making moves. I united the whole top.
All right. You said you about 14, 15 around this time, I believe. At what age did you drop your first project? I believe it's Uptown Boys?
Yeah, definitely. Uptown Boys. Let me see. Was that first? No, that wasn't first. I want to say my first project or my first thing dropped was with, I want to say, I don't really know the name, what our name was, but it was me, Lee Lucas, Mark, and Lil Wayne, and Junior Davis.
Lee Lucas was a rapper?
Definitely. He was trying to break open the rap for our area. See, like me and Lee and Lil Wayne and Mark, we was recording songs to put out nationwide or to put out, you know, in the industry. At this time, it was just CeeLo. Like CeeLo was doing it. Like Lee was gonna be the Uptown CeeLo, but he had too much going on besides just music. He was all the way around. He was 360, so he was like, I can do this too, like it ain't nothing, and this, and this, and this, and this. But apparently he couldn't. It was too much, so he got caught up. But that was my first time we did a song. We did a few songs, and we was gonna meet at the game room, and we was gonna present what we had, and they would present what they had. But once CeeLo presented What, it was over. It was like everybody had to stay in their place when What came out.
You mentioned CeeLo. I believe that may have been the first time I heard you on the Concentrate, on the Youngest of the Camp.
No. When I probably got on the CeeLo song, it was way down the line. Because like I say, by me being under the Lee Lucas camp, I wasn't just gonna go to the CeeLo camp. Nah. It wasn't gonna work like that. Like, even though we didn't have no problem, it wasn't no beef or nothing like that, it was just that it couldn't go like that because we was going to record at the same studio in Glen Oaks and, you know, other little areas. And I want to say off Windburn by Tommy Jefferson. I think that's what his name. He dead now, rest his soul. But we was going to the same studio, and that was when I realized what a reel-to-reel was. Like, we was recording on a reel-to-reel at that time. Like, that's how long ago that was.
And is this around the time that you ran into or start doing music with Boosie?
No, like, I still had a lot of more trench life to go through before I got with Boosie, because after the Lee Lucas thing, like I pretty much, like before the Lee Lucas thing, I took over the game room. I don't want to leave that out because it's a big part of the game room. Now the game room, I pretty much had to go do that myself. But it was like a rap battle every weekend, and dance battle, rap battle every weekend. So I started the dance battle. I got in through the dance battle because, you know, like you got to get to the mic. Back then you had to go through the floor to get to the mic. You feel me? So, you know, it was all part of my plan. So I started dancing, and I really came up with the Crazy Man. Like, it wasn't called the Crazy Man. It was called the Big Head Dude at first. But like, you know, like I say, coming from where I come from, like nobody never gave me my props. Like they always tried to take something that I came up with, and before they honor me or give me my props, they'll throw it in the street. You know, just like that. You know, like and I saw the dance taking off. Even though I ended up in jail, about time, you know, it started getting to high schools and all that, and it was called the Crazy Man and all that. And I was like, wow, that's cool, because I came up with that from nowhere, just trying to get some attention and start moving like that. And they done turned it into a dance. But thanks for nothing, because they named it the Crazy Man. You know, like, wow, I'm not crazy. I knew what I was doing, but hey.
So when you say you had a lot more trench life going on, I'm taking it, you still in the streets, you hustling, you doing your thing, you going back. Surviving.
Right, surviving, because I ain't become a real hustler until probably in the 20s. But in the teens, I was just surviving, and a lot of this took place. And I met Baby in the process of the game room, and Baby was like, you know, you want to roll with me? And I'm like, I'm gonna let you know, because I liked his style, you know, and because I had already seen him a couple times, because he came to the game room almost every week with an act, even if it was UNLV or Miss T or Pimp Daddy or whoever it was, they had to come see me at the game room, you know. And when they threw that Trigger Man beat on, I went at their neck.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Male, female, whoever it was, I went at their neck, and if they say I didn't, they lying. You heard me? Shout out to the ones who shot back, like Juvie. Juvie came there one time.
Right.
I went at his neck, you know? But he had a song called Bounce for the Juvenile. I didn't know. You know, I thought that was DJ Jimmy. So when he hit that Bounce for the Juvenile, man, they went off in there. So, you know, Juvie, he lasted. You feel me? Like, with a lot of them, I pressured them out. Now, when UNLV came out with Bow, another song that, you know, you might hear me try to reincorporate and make a little hook or, you know, a little slang, because,
that's
you know,
staple.
Yeah, like those songs and those people, like I try to honor that. You feel me? I don't want people to take away from them just because the record labels or the CEOs own the masters. I try to still be grounded with the artists. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, like, I salute them, but like I said, a lot of them had to see me, and a lot of them got dealt with like it wasn't nothing. But, you know, like I say, that was just growing up. So by the time I got in my 20s, that's when Boosie and Uptown Boys came in the picture. Now, I liked that situation, but I kind of like regret it. And I don't regret nothing, but I kind of regret that situation because how it played out. Like I wanted to do music, and apparently he wanted to do burglaries. Honestly, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I'm trying to do the music, and he's saying, okay, this is what you got to do that. So I was like, nah, because we're going to end up in jail like that. Like so many people took me the wrong way to try to get to rap. I ended up how I ended up. You know, like I could have went with Baby, but they had somebody in my ear saying, no, we gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I could have went with Sporty T, but they had somebody in my ear saying, nah, we gonna try. You know, like all of the infamous drug dealers from South Baton Rouge, from my end,
Right.
we tried. But the thing was, they wanted them. Like, they didn't say, okay, we know you got it, so we gonna get behind you. No, they just said, we gonna get on side of you. So, you know, I'm like, well, damn, what, I'm too dark-skinned? What, I'm too ugly? What? Why I can't be me?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, I tried with them, you know, we did song boot, me and a lot of them, you know. Like I was two steps away from No Limit 30 times, you know.
And this in your early 20s?
Yeah, all this is in my early 20s. Like, I was in a 2-man cell with Soulja Slim. Like, and we ran it like brothers. You feel me? Like brothers. Like, we shared the same hall time. Like, in the lockdown cell, when you come out, you get like, some days you get to shower and use the phone. We shared that. And that made it so important because we had to, like, he talking to people and he telling them I said what's up and I'm telling people he said what's up, you know, and stuff like that. And I'm seeing his raw emotions while he talking on the phone. He's seeing my raw emotions. We go back in the cell. We rap against each other. I freestyle in the death, but he had songs. You feel what I'm saying? At this time, he had songs. So he probably is still, he was him. I was coming, he was there. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we shared that, and that was important too, because he dead and gone. But it's crazy because he stood on his name. He stood on the cut though, because we bonded so good, like we was brothers. You know, in that 2-man cell. But when I came home, and you know, like I was trying to rekindle, so I had put a show together with me, Soulja Slim, and BG at the Zone. So just so happened, you know, like all three of us, we trenched from the trenches, and all three of us not getting our proper residuals at this time. And you know, like at this point, all I had was jail credentials with the rap and street credentials with the rap. But I had to made it that far because of a song called Slutastic I had dropped. But anyway, Soulja Slim go straight with his dice between the finger move.
No, man.
Yeah, and got his slick crew with him, and like just trying to milk my niggas, and they with it because it's Soulja Slim and his niggas.
Hey, he told you cut though.
Exactly, man. Bro. Exactly, and I couldn't do nothing. Like, you know, like I wasn't finna like test his gangster and be like, bro, you down bad, woo woo woo, because we already talked about running G and you know, cut those stuff. And, yeah, he I guess he wanted to show me that that's how he really moved, and I had to just sit back and just like, you know, like the niggas that was with me, I'm like, nah, fall back, because we in VIP. Like, it wasn't like, if you had a show with Big Head, Soulja Slim, and BG, you couldn't really go in VIP with the wrong promotion behind the show. But there was just me and us. So VIP, we had somebody there saying, give me 20 and you can come in. We didn't care who came in. You feel me? So, you know, that was another way of getting some of my money back. So, you know, from there, it's like, hey, you know, and that's when it all broke down. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And I ain't never really hollered at them no more after that.
How long after this period I believe I saw in a interview of yours, you said Donkey had to put a bug in Boosie ear?
About me?
Yeah, as far as the rap.
Well, probably because, see, Donkey was in jail for a minute while a lot of this was unfolding. Like me and Donkey was on Juvenile Wayne together at one point. And then he went and did what all he had to do. When he came back, because I want to say he did about 5 years, he gave his life sentence back. They actually gave Donkey life, he gave it back. But when he gave it back, or while he was giving it back, they brought him back to the parish. So now we a little older and we ain't on J. Wayne. So now he teaching me stuff about Angola and how to shank fight and all this and all that. Him and Didi, shout out to Didi. So, you know, we got closer. And by then, you know, Boosie had already made a name for himself with Low. Donkey trying to get back out there to all this.
Right.
So when he make it back out there, you know, I had a little name in the music, but I had a bigger name in the streets. So, you know, Donkey was one of the ones in the game room. Boosie wasn't big enough or old enough at that time. But Donkey and Bronson was in the game room. They watched me do my thing. You know what I'm saying? They watched me gang up in the ranks with the rap. They watched me rap against all these other people and did them. So I had to already made my impression felt to them. But by then, now Boosie was running the South. And Trail like, I'm gonna hook you up with Boo. So he pulled up one day, like, I don't know what was going on at the Centralplex, but I was ready. I had CDs, Uptown Boys CDs. That's how I really got out. I had the CDs and I was ready. And Donkey gave one to Boosie. Boosie started playing, well, I don't know who was driving. They was in the car together, thugging. You know, not on no rap shit, thugging, Donkey and Boo. Right. And they throw it in. You know, this back when they rolling, jigging the pieces, retarded strap on your lap. Yeah, you know, that kind of throw it in. So, you know, and we end up in front of the Centralplex, me and Deucey, and they had a bail bombing out there. And so we decided, we told him, okay, if you play our music, we'll help distribute your bail bonds cards. So you already know, I was like, okay, play What You See and Slut Test It. And you know, Deucey was like, why he not playing the song with me on it? So I'm like, bro, like you chose the songs that you chose to get on, whatever. I told you to get on whatever. You know, now we see What You See and Slutastic taking off. You feel what I'm saying? So now he playing it on the loudspeaker. So these people coming out the Centralplex hearing this. So we sell out. We were selling burn CDs $10 a piece. Like just hand to hand for 10.
I actually remember seeing you years ago.
But this was the beginning of the CD selling.
Right.
I'm talking, you might have caught me when I was selling them for $5 Uptown Boys CDs.
Oh,
I mean, Bryce Mix CDs later on down the line. But this was before the Trio Buzz or anything like that. And I was selling them $10 a piece, and we sold out. And I had some money. I felt good, you know, because it never worked out like that for me, not with music. And that inspired me. That was like, you know, you had 100, 200 CDs. You sold them all for $10 a piece. You got enough to go score, re-up, shake back, do what you need to do, you know. And I was like, okay, if I can make this like this, then I need to do this. And then I kind of start more following up. But I done met Boo now. So Boo on my trail, and he tell me that he had a studio downtown. So I go to the studio downtown to meet Boo, and they go Turk and Mel, playing the back. And somebody else, I guess the other person was an engineer. But they play in the back like they really ain't, you know, a part of it. So then they just come out and let me know what time it is, like boom, 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 boom. Now at this point, I want to say this was the beginning of the trio at this point. Because they was building off Boosie. And I get it. So I'm like, okay, but Boo like, nah, this me. So I guess they told him, you know, you're going to have power to control the situation. So he pulled me in. So we did a few songs that night. But I wrecked my car leaving. And I lost all.
That killed you.
Yeah, like I was like, nah, that let me know that was a bad move. Especially like when I was going to see Boo, and then I end up meeting them. And you know, at this point, they didn't really have nothing to show or nothing to give. They was street niggas they self trying to get in, you know? And I was like, that's all I got. That was the only vibe I got then, was the street nigga vibe. And I was like, nah, I ain't really tripping on that. But then, like I say, me and Boo did a couple songs, and I ended back up in jail anyway. So I'm like, wow, like, okay, cool. So then when I get out, they start looking for me again. So I'm like, nah, you know, I wrecked my car, I've been gone 18 months or something like that. Like, nah, you know, I'm gonna try to do my own, because now, like, I just done went to jail and smashed everybody in jail.
Right.
From Wade to Satellite Camp to the parish to everybody. Like, I went mad. And another special moment. I mean, this is why I feel like I was the chosen one. Guess who come right on line with me? Mr. Magic. Another person dead and gone, rest his soul, died in a traffic accident.
We met a lot of important people.
In Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This man from Ninth Ward, New Orleans.
Right.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Parish Prison, A. Wayne. That man walked through the door. Boom. And tried to stay low key. But they had sharks back there. They had vultures. And they was like, we're gonna flush him out. We're gonna run him out. We're gonna extort him, or we're gonna rape him. That's what they said.
That's how they was coming.
And yeah, I mean, that's how they was coming. And I'm not saying that they was, made for that, or that's how the parish was. But at this point in time, A4, you feel me? That's how them young niggas was feeling. We was all young, but that's how they was feeling. And they was like 2 cells down. It's like 6-man cell. We in cell 2, they in cell 4. Only thing between us is cell 3. And the only open bunk is in cell 4. And you know why it's open? Because everybody move in there, he's rawed out.
Checking out.
Yeah, like, the next morning, when them gates rack back, it's over. So what we did was, I made a peace agreement with the niggas in the cell. St. Clair, Twin, Male, Big Warren, and a couple more little dudes that had got initiated in. So they wanted to do somebody because they got done to stay in the cell, but they just lived, fought, whatever it took to stay in there. So I'm saying to myself, bro, if this cell closed on Magic, what's gonna happen? And they know it's him. He got a big ass 9th Ward tattoo on his arm, a picture of his daddy, I think it said Big Mac, but he's still trying to be low key. But he don't understand the significance of who he is at this point. Wobble on TV right now while he in there.
I need a piece of that. So
I just went on and like I said, I just stepped in and said, you could come in my cell, man. Like, this ain't what's up. So just think we had to give somebody up out of our cell to go in the cell with him, to go in the cell with them.
Right.
To get him in. So unfortunately, like my homeboy, my fam, Scooby, shout out to Scooby, he was back there, Bruce Mason, and he was like, I ain't tripping, I ain't worried about him doing me nothing, but I understand the importance of Magic being in here with y'all. And it was a Southside thing in our cell, but we had Tony in there, rest in peace, Tony. Another person dead and gone, died in a traffic accident. And Magic actually winged him and made a CD with him. Body Head Bangers, there was Roy Jones, Magic, and Tony, Trouble. But anyway, we had Trouble in our cell because of music. Like I say, he knew how to rap, I knew how to rap. That meant a lot to me. I meant a lot on this line. I had 9 o'clock phone time. Like you had to be that nigga to have 9 o'clock phone time.
Politics.
From 9 to 10. It cut off at 10. I got it from 9 to 10. So anyway, like Tony already in there. Mo Gangsta got my little cousin, little Joe in there, just keeping him out of trouble. Tyree, my big homie, like he was another one that I united when the South came together. But just unfortunately, he was one of the ones that had a pair of golden gloves. So now I certified him. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So, like he already, like these dudes loyal to me. I'm young. You feel what I'm saying? Like all my loyal homies dead and gone because of the trenches. But anyway, like we was able to get Magic in there, and Magic the one told me to start writing. He was like, bro, you got it. Start writing songs. And that's what started Slut Tastic. That's what started What You See. Magic. Because at first I was just freestyling and did everybody in on my whole up until the end freestyling.
All right. So you done did songs with Boo, you go to jail, you run into Magic, y'all form a relationship.
Nah, no, I don't want to get it wrong because that's twisting it. I got out and did them songs with Boo. Because, like, I met Trill and then went in.
Gotcha.
Then, like, got out. Did, like, I met Boo and Donkey.
You had to record them songs.
Yeah, and then went in. And then the song recording process came after Magic. All song recording process came after Magic, except with leading them. Because they was orchestrating that.
Right.
Like with anybody else orchestrating, writing came into play. Because that was the only way you was able to record if you had that tablet reading it off that tablet.
Gotcha.
So, they wasn't finna let you freestyle and waste time because, you was on time clocks then. So, like, all the recording came in after I met Magic because Magic was the one, writing he the one told me to start writing songs.
All right.
So I got out and met Turk and Mel and re-met Boo.
You re-met Boo. You see y'all recording. You Turk and Mel playing in the background. What is it that kept you and Boosie's relationship going forward at that point? Music, like how y'all got back?
The streets?
Always the streets. That was a common factor.
Because I was like the uptown hero and he was like the bottom hero. And we was on two different levels, but in the streets, it was the same because like I had the South locked since the game room. The game room was gone when Boo came.
Right.
Like that was CeeLo thing, but about time Boo came, the game room was gone.
He was the start of a new era.
Yeah, so he couldn't really get into that. But as far as in the streets, my mark was already made. And he knew like he could come to me. So it was like dice games, I'm like, come on, Boo. Like that's Boo. Ain't nobody finna, he was trying to hold his own, but I'm like, nah, ain't nobody finna. And like he needed wheels and like tires for his rims and I'll be having them because I'm up in the top, but I'm hustling. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, once I got in my 20s, I started stacking. So I'm like, it's all good. I was hustling, fronting like I was rapping. But hustling was doing all the taking care of me. That's why I had a problem.
Was financing your career.
Right. That's why I had a problem with my situation because I knew that I had to hustle to keep that up. And that was going in any given time, I lose my position because I had to hustle to keep it up. And I had done lost it a couple times already.
All right. So at what point do we start getting these same old shit, this politician networking? At what point did we start getting these hits that we know to love you so much for today?
When I got out. I want to say this was when I got out in 05 or 04. It could have been, depends, I can't really remember.
Right.
But Touchdown Across Hell was the first one because Boo had been in jail for about a weekend or something, or a week. But I had just did like 3 years, like close to 3 years. And it was now or never. Like I had already did a couple songs with Trill, Girl Go Ahead, and the ones with Boo. So it was like at this point it's now or never. So I'm like, well, okay, if it's now or never, the cheddar. So they was like, oh, it's coming, it just ain't came yet. Like ain't none of us got it yet. You just in time.
Right.
So I'm like, oh shit, let's do it. So I'm killing the studio, like, Girl Go Ahead. Give Me That Pussy and Bad Bitch were right there because I was in jail when they dropped Gangsta Music, but Bad Bitch and Give Me That Pussy was on Gangsta Music, but they also was gonna put it on Webby's album because those were the songs that the big labels bid on. So
go ahead.
It wasn't about them putting Boosie behind Webby. It was about, okay, you put out Ghetto Stories, you put out Gangsta Music, and we as a big label say we want to get behind Give Me That Pussy and Bad Bitch. We'll get behind Boosie too, but right now we want to get behind this. And it was like from that they telling us y'all gotta open the doors up for each other.
Man, how was it moving around with them guys at that time? I know you were in and out of jail. Actually, how much of that traveling or that back then I believe they used to reference it as a Chitlin circuit or something like that?
Right. The Chitlin circuit. I call it the mud industry now. I'm glad you called it the Chitlin circuit because now I call it the mud industry, and I'm gonna try to create a whole mud industry for people from in that bracket, in those cities, in those states, in those trenches, to have top-notch, events and have put enough of them together where they have a chance to make some money and get up out of that hole, get their followers up, get their Instagrams and all that working, and try to provide a whole mud industry. So I'm glad you said that, but that's coming. Cause I know like all the people from Mississippi and Alabama coming out there, but like Mississippi, they got a lot of talented people. And that's where the mud circuit definitely is.
At the time when you moving around in this mud circuit, man, how was your peers? How was your family reacting to you? Were they receptive to this newfound traction, emotion you had going on?
I really ain't had none. Like it was all me. And that's was my downfall. I didn't have no support to go against the label. Like the label knew I was by myself. So they was like, we know you by yourself. We know you don't have no family. We know you don't have no strength. We know you don't have no money. We know you don't have nothing to try to stand on, So that was a problem too. Like I had to move how they wanted me to move. I was the hype man for Webby for his whole Savage Life 1. And came up with Independent, the song, hyping him. So like we went to maybe 50 cities. You know what I'm saying? Like day in and day out, I'm rapping this song. Like, and I knew that part, they didn't care how you look. Because see, the label only wanted me to have a certain look. They wanted me to just be a greaseball, slime ball, trench life, artists. And that's it. They like, we're gonna have everybody else in everybody else's position. But they steady telling me I need a song though. You need a song. Nah, we want you to be like this, but you need a song. Nah, we want you to be like this, but you need a song. So I say, well, okay, cool. I'm gonna show y'all. I come back, I got a song. You got a song? What you mean? I say, it go like this. INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that mean, man? INDEPEND. I say, just keep running it over like that with the beat dropping. I'm just like, bro, they gonna love that. I perform every time I rap this, the whole crowd is rapping it with me. Like I'm hyping Webby.
Right.
You feel me? It's Webby's actual concept, but I'm hyping him because he done made this song. This is in Bad Bitch. This Independent is in Bad Bitch. The way he spelled these letters out, like it's in Bad Bitch. I'm hyping him.
Right.
City in, city out. So when I lay around there and I come back, I'm like, okay, I done figured it out now. I'm like, I know I done figured it out. Because I'm looking at the crowd. So all I got to do is say it and, they going to bite. Especially if I got Webby on there. So I run it to Webby. He like, yeah, I'm all for it. Man, we get back. I tell Mouse, because they tell me to tell Mouse. I tell Mouse. I tell Turk. I tell Mel. That's all I need to tell. They say, they send me to Mouse and say, see what Mouse think, because Mouse got to do the beat.
Right.
So I tell him, I'm hitting it, boom, 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 boom. He did that. So he already knew that.
He saw the vision.
But at the same time, come to find out later, thanks to Shell running out there not knowing the situation, thinking I'm tripping, he tell the internet that Fat and Mel and Be Real come up with the song. So Be Real run out there like, Shell right. I'm like, ain't no way in hell Shell right. But Be Real tells the truth. Be Real say, well, this how it went. Mel asked me to help Fat make a song like this. That's what he said. And I say, oh, okay, now I see. What happened? Why Shell feel the way he feel? Because you right there. But you don't know I told Turk and Mel this months, maybe years ago.
Right.
You feel me? Be Real made the beat. But Mouse made the beat that I said make. Make the hook that I said make. So they took what Fat and Be Real came up with. She got her own house. She got her own car. 2 jobs, work hard, you a bad bro. And add that to the song. I didn't make that part up.
Right.
That's the part they made to the song that they was making.
You think that was more politics? By that being, I believe Fat, that's his son?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say it was more politics. I'ma just say that they knew it was gonna work.
Right.
You feel me? Like they knew it was gonna work.
He was hot as fish grease.
Yeah, when I went in Mouse studio and I saw that plaque, I was like, Mouse know that I should have that plaque. He know. But with that plaque comes the residuals. He ain't gonna want me to have that though. Nobody gonna want me to get the credit or the songwriters or, you know, whatever they call that, because then you might owe me something. So before that happened, everybody just sweep it under the rug. So since this trench talk, I'ma just throw it out there. This is the first time I ever said anything about that situation, right, because I didn't know how it went. But when Shell ran out there, and you know Shell like my little bro, he trilled too. Shell ran out there and said what he said. See, he didn't know he wasn't supposed to say that. He didn't know that was a secret. He didn't know that they was backdooring me. So he thought he was protecting Fat honor and ran out there, and I respect that. But that solved the riddle of why that I didn't get the proper play, you know?
And you take a lot of accountability for going back and forth to jail, that part affecting your career. Would you say it's safe to say when you're doing business, it's a certain protocol and legalities that's involved? Coming from the streets, would you say the situation took advantage of your ignorance and your lack of support system?
Now, I'm gonna put it like this, that it was like when somebody said, showing you that you got it, or telling you got it. But that's it. Like when you go through, like I said, this ain't just started when I was with Trill. This started when I was Lil. The day I came to Baton Rouge, I rapped against the best niggas in the South and beat them. The day I came to Baton Rouge. Like when I got off that Greyhound bus and all those people was disappointed in me.
Let it be known off the rip.
Yeah, I still shook back with that. You feel me?
Gotcha.
So, but I always been underappreciated. Always been undervalued. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole while. But I was like, I'ma fight through it. I'ma push through it. Like it was like I have to. I don't have no choice.
Realistically speaking, man, what's the sense of us ever hearing a new modern track with Boo, Webby, and Big Head on it?
I mean, that's possible. That's possible because me and Boo just did one.
Oh, all right.
See, if me and Boo got one called Spin the Wheel on his new one he just put out.
Back to BR.
Yeah, so you might want to check it out. I really don't, I mean, like, I listened to it, but I listened to that song. Like, I didn't listen to nothing else because I felt like that Boo was really just pulling rank because he had some people on there he shouldn't even had on there.
Right.
But I can't tell him what to do,
right,
you know, but out of honor and loyalty, I'm loyal to him. So, you know, I'm like, okay, cool. If that's what you want to do, that's what we want to do. Same way with Webby, I'm loyal to him too. But unfortunately, Webby and Boo is not who got me with them. It was Trill who brought us together. See, people don't give Trill the proper recognition that they deserve, because they did bring us together. Without them, it wouldn't have been that.
Right, they played the producer role.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that.
And y'all made magic.
I know.
Y'all made history, man.
Like say for instance, bro, me and Boo was rounds, and we always were gonna be rounds, and always will be rounds, and we looked at the music like that. So it was like, nah, we gotta put a line between you and Boo and put you with Webby, because we know Webby every move. So we gonna go and pull you over here. So okay, touchdown to cause hell. I'm on them. This my breakout song. This is what this supposed to have the video, BET, and all that, to my knowledge. But Boo shot a little video in the bottom without me. And that kind of killed it. It wasn't hard for them to say, well, he don't want you on the song. It wasn't hard for them to say, well, that song went the wrong way, or he leaked the CD. It wasn't hard for them to say that, because that's what the situation was, And I'm like, well, okay, cool. And I wasn't tripping on that. Like I say, I'm with Webby, and I had to came up with the idea for the independent. So I'm like, I'm gonna be good either way the cut go.
Man, y'all too influential, man. That whole original Trill situation, man. You say it's Trill that would have to bring y'all back together.
Trill ain't gonna do it.
That's my question.
Trill ain't gonna do it.
If it's not egos, somebody just don't care to do it.
It ain't about no egos, because with me, I like for them, with Boo and Webby, I do it for free.
Right.
I mean, with Trill, I do it now for the notoriety and the internet plate and all that, because I can hustle off that. They didn't have that back then.
Right.
See, like now sometimes I say I should have just stayed with them to have more content to sell now. But I wasn't on that then. I was just strictly on being real and standing on principles. So like that kind of like what took me away from them. But like it won't be nothing for me and Boo and Webby and maybe even Fox, But I just know like I'ma still be good. I'ma still be the same I was then. I'ma still have the same hunger, the same passion. Like I don't know if that's what they're gonna have. And with them knowing that, they might don't want to get on no track with me right now.
Right.
You feel me?
They got all the motivation in the world.
Yeah, right. They know I need it. You feel what I'm saying? They know I've been in here this game this long and still ain't got that bag. You feel me? Not even got offered a bag. It's just all about, can we use you up? Now I'm feeling used and abused.
Tell me this, at this point, this rap game, are you chasing a dream or are you chasing a bag?
I'm chasing what my children respect, and that is stability. That's it.
Well put out.
That's all.
Don't nothing else matter after that.
I get that. I'm good. I mean, I help people every day. I give stuff away every day. Like I got an organization called Not on My Watch with hip hand-me-downs, where I get hand-me-downs from more fortunate people and give them to less fortunate people. I made 2 trips this morning. I took one girl a TV, some lamps, some other stuff. I took one girl some clothes. I took a little dude some shoes.
And it's all off the record.
All off the record. I did all that this morning. Not to say what I do every day.
Right.
I did that this morning.
I commend you for that.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, I get it. So, like, but I know one thing. Helping people don't help you. It help you.
Say that one more time.
Helping people don't help you. In most cases, it hurts you more than it help you, because somebody's always jealous. So even if it's helping somebody, if I give this person something, this person mad I gave it to him.
Right.
This person hate me because, like, I remember one person told me, why you make other people's life easy and your life so hard? I say, because God got me. I can't speak for nobody else. So I'm just moving how I'm moving. But I ain't deal with her no more after that.
Right. What you supposed to? Man, let me ask you this. Do you like or dislike the way or the direction that Baton Rouge music or Louisiana music is being represented right now?
I dislike it.
How so?
Because ain't no torch passing, ain't no family helping, ain't no breaking the cycle, ain't no, safety, ain't no spot where
No security.
yeah, where the ones that, like, say for instance, the next generation of rappers, the new rappers, they need a safety net from the old rappers. But ain't none. So they just getting killed. Boom, 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 boom. It's nobody to save them. It's nobody to say, I'm going to get you. Like, that's what I try to do with politicking and networking live. I try to take rappers or singers or something with talent and put them on my page. Just because I got 90,000 followers, and I know a lot of those followers are into music. So I try to put them on my page to get them past the haters. To get people to say, oh, yeah, look, I saw such and such on Big Head page. So that might stop the op from killing them and give them a chance to say, well, go ahead and go, bro. Go ahead and blow. Somebody go ahead and pick them up, sign them, do something, because too many rappers that I know, the ones that the world don't know, that fell victim.
You done outlasted them.
I done outlasted them, but I ain't saying that to say. I'm just saying they ain't leave nothing. They don't have nothing. Nobody got nothing. Like, I know Fat personally. Like, his grandmother and my mama stay next door to each other right now.
And that's why I didn't mind sitting down here with you, man, today. 90,000 followers, 2,000 followers. I like the agenda you pushing, man.
Right. I appreciate it.
I feel like we definitely need more leaders out here. I want to ask you, how you feel the rap game differ today versus when you were in the thick of it? And I got a two-part question to this.
The internet is the first thing, is because they have that to help you. Like now, I feel like, why go record a song and do a video and put it out and people knock you and say they don't like it or whatever, when you can just go straight on IG and just run it naturally. For free, and save money and time and energy and dealing with unnecessary people, and your fans still get their fix. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a big difference, because the internet, if it wasn't for the internet, I'd have been had to go under, because I'm not an internet person.
You done figured it out though. You keep it going on. Man, I want to ask you this too. Would you say back then in that era, you had to be more of a stand-up guy to be a rapper versus today?
No. Back then,
it
was more about rapping.
Gotcha.
You had to beat them rapping.
Gotcha.
Now, you gotta kill them. See, it's the difference. You gotta beat them physically now. You gotta take them out. Like, they really on some other shit, and I don't get it, because, like, the rappers in New York, they get old. Like, they gotta conspiratorize to kill them. They just the ones that be too good, but the beefs live forever and turn around and be friends and shake hands, and and I be like, wow, like that ain't gonna bring G Money back. That ain't gonna bring Quick back. That ain't gonna bring Reddy back. That ain't gonna bring Handy back. That ain't gonna bring these dudes that just tragically lost their life. Not saying how they lost it, but that ain't gonna bring them back. You feel me? And it's like, you supposed to turn that into something. You don't let that go. You don't like when you see Big L. Like, I don't even know if you know him or you knew of him.
New York.
Yeah, but you have to be a certain age to know that, like, Big L was like the rawest one, and everybody cut from his cloth. You feel me? Or stole something from his flow. But like, he was just raw and uncut. And that's kind of sort of who I wanted to. That's what my rap mind frame came from. Big L, bringing it straight to you, raw and uncut on any beat, just taking off. So like that's kind of sort of where I came from with that. But back in the days compared to today, I would rather today because you can stay home. Like I can stay out the way and take care of myself. I can't get higher though. I can stay, I can afford my bills, my kids, but I know I'm part of the struggle. So that's my kids, they kids, my people, the struggle people. It's like a never-ending cycle. So I have to keep scratching. You feel me?
The trenches then changed, then evolved to this, and it was inevitable one way or another. Do you feel like it's too far gone, or is something that could possibly be done to even curb the number of senseless killings we have going on in Baton Rouge, even in the world? It
starts with structure, and it starts with leaders and structure, and direction and guidance. It ain't gonna happen in one day. It's gonna take time, but you gotta plant the seeds. Like you have to change the whole era. You have to make positive stuff cool. You have to take away the negative stuff and stop glorifying negativity and glorify positivity. It's the same thing.
In that's gonna take some people that have said some stuff in the past to take some accountability. And what I mean when I say that, I got a couple guys I talk to on a regular. We 90s babies.
Right.
We in this, we seeing what's going on. It's a lot of gray area that was left out here.
Definitely.
From the generation before us, the generation that came before them. A lot of people, whether it be the street dudes or the quote unquote OGs, it was a lot of.
It was a lot of misleading, and it sent a lot of people in the wrong direction. Because I'm not ashamed to say or afraid to say that my big homies misled me, because they know they did. I posted a pic on Instagram of me falling at the bowling alley. Mm-hmm. And one of my big homies thought like, wow, you big head the dome doctor, you would do something like that, you would post that. I say, I ain't worried about people seeing me fall because I know I'm gonna get up. But the thing is, I was trying to bowl and I didn't know if you crossed the line, it was gonna get slippery because nobody never took me bowling. But you're my big homeboy. He telling me how somebody took him bowling. He saying, Mr. What's his name took all us bowling. What no Mr. You was supposed to be my Mr. What's his name. So that's how it changed. It went from things like that to just the streets. Like this all we want to show you. We don't want to show you nothing else because we went wrong.
You think a lot of them realize it? I see a lot of artists now, they make so much money off of it. Which this is one of my favorites. They've been drilling this ratting thing or this no snitching thing since I can remember.
Right.
Man, you got a lot of people, you got a lot of holes in the ground, you got a lot of people down there in Angola. I try to explain it. It's a difference, and some people gonna take this how they want. It's a difference between ratting and setting the record straight. Do you believe that?
I mean, by me being me, I'm gonna be able to clean that up too. I'm gonna be able to break that down for you too. See, it's like, it's not a difference between ratting and setting the record straight, but it's a difference between living by the code and being a civilian.
I like how you put it.
If you're a civilian, telling is your job.
Gotcha.
That's your job.
Got it.
That's why they have civilians. Law-abiding citizens. If that's what you are, then telling is your job. There's nothing wrong with that. I never faulted nobody for telling on me or nothing like that wasn't involved.
Right.
You feel me?
That's the difference.
But see, when you involved, that's what these parents have to tell their children, what they need to understand. And that's what the children that understand got to tell their parents. See, when you involved, you involved. See, that's what make it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's what make it a problem, because you said that you wouldn't. You promised to the game and to people and to the code that you wouldn't. Even if you just went and told old boy you was going with him. Like, you know this.
You was complicit.
Yeah, so you know, like that's why a lot of times, bro, like people die, and when they be in jail, they change their story. I ain't see nothing. Because they got involved. People saying, man, you know such and such was a gangster. You wasn't supposed to say that. Oh, you right. Okay, cool. You know, because they involved. But when you're not involved, that's why you don't involve people that's not involved. Because if they involved, they gotta stay silent. But if they not, you're a humanitarian just like everybody else.
Right.
You know, you have a humanitarian job to play. You know, like I don't condone in ratting or snitching, because I signed up. I live by the code. You know, I'm not gonna break the code because I saw this or I saw this. Just like the situation was, okay, what if a serial killer lived next door? I live by the code.
I believe there's a camera.
Yeah, camera on that. And I fuck with Mr. 1-in-1. Shout out to Cameron. But if they got a serial killer live next door to me, and I live by the code, you got to go, serial killer. And I know you're a serial killer.
Gonna hold court in the street.
Right. Simple. Yeah, you know, because that's a serial killer. Mm-hmm. Then when they find out the evidence, oh, that's the serial killer that did. No big deal. Now, if they want me to own up to killing the serial killer, I did it.
With a smile.
Yeah, because that's how they go. And I believe that's something else I believe in. If you feel like you killed someone for principle, you should be able to tell his mama. You know?
Most definitely.
It's principle.
Most definitely.
I ain't kill your son for nothing. I don't want you to forgive me, but I want to confess to you. I'm not gonna confess to the cops, but I want to confess to you so you can handle how you want to handle it, because you created that person. But I want you to know why this happened. That shouldn't have went like that. They might have caused that anything, because they got too many dead people around and too many broken homes for somebody not to understand that it's a way that this can be worked out. You feel me? They don't gotta just keep having broken home after broken home, you know? Like, and that goes back to what I say, we get some leaders, put them in the other direction, because that's what I'm trying to do. I try to turn lit dudes into positive lit dudes and still let them linger with the negative dudes. Just leak positivity through them, and they put it through them. And I said, well, let's see who lived the longest. Let's all take a picture together, all 10 of us. And they be like, you tripping? Nah, come on. Come on. What you scared of? I don't look nothing. I ain't worried about what you got on. We're going to see who lived the longest. Come on, all us. We're going to see who stay out of jail. Come on, get in the picture.
That's what counts.
You know, like the young ones, like, well, let's see who can stay in school the longest. Let's see who don't get suspended. Make that cool. You know?
You just mentioned leaders, and we're gonna end on this note. You just mentioned leaders. Man, I want to know your opinion on this Young Thug RICO case that's going on right now.
Bruh, I don't know what got you asking me these questions, but I definitely got answers for them, because guess what? The people came at me and tried to RICO us. Yeah. Yeah.
What era was this?
I don't know. This was before Boo went to jail, like for that scratch. Mm-hmm. So this might have been in 06, right. 07, or something like that. See, what happened was, Webby went to jail, and Mouse went to jail. And Fox must have went to jail. I hadn't already been to jail. Boo hadn't already been to jail. I know Turk hadn't already been to jail. I don't know who else been to jail.
All unrelated situations.
All unrelated situations. Nobody had the same situation. I didn't have the same situation with none of them or nothing.
But that's enough. That's crime and y'all organized.
But it was just the fact that, like, I was threading ice because I'm like on paper and not going to see my PO and this, this kind of stuff, trying to stay out, doing what I need to do. So I find out, okay, the people hit my sister shit, my brother shit, and my mama shit.
Damn.
So I'm like, I'm already just turn myself in, but I don't know what's going on. I just know the police hate me, shit like that. So I called one of my partners, Scooby, Bruce Mason, mention him again, because he was the one in the set, call him, boom. Say, I want you to come over here, because I want you to witness everything that happened. I just want you to just play like, you know, nonchalant. I want my mama to be right there and all this or whatever happened. But come to find out, they wanted to talk about a RICO case. And it was like, you know, big head, we got you, we got Boosie, we got Webby, we got Fox, we got Mouse. I don't know what they had Mouse or Webby for, but I knew they had went to jail for something. It could have been some bullshit, but I knew they had went to jail. So they was like, well, this is what we gonna do. We gonna show you mercy when it all come down, cause it's coming down.
Right.
But you just gotta say, you know, you have to say, all I had to say is everybody knew about each other doing something. It ain't even had to be linked. I'm talking about RICO. All I had to do was say that everybody knew about.
You had knowledge, and you were gonna be complicit.
I said, man, look. See, they knew I had left. So they was trying to take advantage of that because they knew that why I left.
Right.
You know? So I'm like, bro, all I'm going to say is them dudes gave me an opportunity. And I appreciate it.
I appreciate them for it, man.
Yeah, and that's what I told them. And then, like, they was hot. You know, they was throwing all kind of slang, saying this and that, saying this and that. But I was like, you know what? It don't matter. I'm out here. You know, like, whatever happened, gonna happen, but at the same time, I'm not finna cooperate at all with y'all. Like, for what? Like, I wouldn't have did that if it was about 1 cent and a nigga straight out the trenches. I don't believe in that, and like I say, I'll go back and say this again. Like, rat, splat. That's how I feel.
Simple and plain.
Civilian, you just doing your job. You trying to make the world a better place, you know, make your neighborhood safer. But a lot of these neighborhoods in Baton Rouge is under siege. And they don't call the shots. They just sit back and get killed or watch people get killed or get hurt and watch people get hurt and don't even be strong enough to step up.
Don't nobody want to say nothing.
You know, like now this shit falling on the mailman and the delivery man and the nurses that's trying to stop by and the insurance man. Now all these people got to deal with the vultures and all that because, you know, it's no structure in the neighborhood. So what we need to do is we need to get some old school heads. Some will stand up. Not none.
Or even just go back to that law.
Yeah, not none that's gonna get killed or go out there head first, because I don't believe in going out there and getting killed because I know that'll happen. You feel me? So it's more about, you know, like Martin Luther King when he was like, okay, if I cross that bridge right now, I know what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna wait till I can get a little bit more better structure. Then he went right on cross. So yeah, you know, it's the same way. Like, you know, like the structure. Like these dudes know if this your hood, structurize it, claim it, own it. You feel me? Clean it up. Whatever you gotta do, it don't matter. Because all y'all involved.
Right. Just
stop involving people that's not involved. You know, let them live. Let them be married. You know, like, and back when I first came to Baton Rouge, it really wasn't but South Baton Rouge. Like all the other hoods had another name. Like the dudes made it a name. Like South Baton Rouge was South Baton Rouge. It wasn't no good name for it. It wasn't no Eden Park. It wasn't no Villa Del Rey. It wasn't no
neighborhood.
Yeah, it was just the trenches. It was the real trenches.
Project.
And I went from neighborhood to neighborhood trying to survive, and I learned how different hoods went. If a nigga say I wasn't in their hood, they young. But all the OGs know. Big Head done been in every hood in Baton Rouge. Thugging and hustling. Every hood. Ain't missed one. And the older dudes, no. And I wish they tell that to the young dude. Because I was solid. You know, like, they need to know that. But when the young dudes and they OGs is rats, if they OGs is marks, if they OGs got robbed and shot and let people take stuff from them and all that, they ain't gonna tell the truth about Big Head, because Big Head ain't go through that. You feel what I'm saying?
Straight
like
up.
Big Head stood on all 10 on his own. I didn't run from guns, I didn't run from nothing. I stood there. I'm glad to be alive, thank God I'm alive. Dudes tell you, when they upped, if they was too close, we wrestled. You know? Few times they got shots off. Boom, boom. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but it was like I say, I was the chosen one. And at this point, like, I'm so close to God, like, I don't fear nothing. I don't fear death or nothing, because I'm close to God. And it's like, I serve my duty. So either it's gonna be blessings, or it's gonna be good, or it's just gonna be me continue to try, but I ain't gonna go back in a negative lane at all, because that only misled people. Like, my son in jail, my daughter is out of town, you know, doing her own thing. My other son, like, I barely talk to him. My baby son, like, you know, I try to bond with him, but it's just a different flow because of time and bring change and the negativity that was attached to my name. Like, I had negativity attached to my name, and it turned into hate. And nothing but envy and all that ever went with it. Nothing good never went with it. So it's like, I've been fighting this fight myself all this time. So it's like, well, you know what? Since they want to copy me and say this and do this, do that, and do that, let's go good. Let's go good. Let me see how many of y'all gonna follow me to help people. Let me see how many of y'all gonna follow me to make a change or make the neighborhood safer. Let me see how many of y'all haters, ops, or whatever y'all is, gonna do that. If you hate me that much, come on in the lane I'm in now. They ain't gonna do that. They're gonna let me be in this lane all by myself just because they know that they won't make it trying to be who they not. You feel me? But this me, like I say, not on my watch. That's what this stands for. None of my homeboys, all what I've been through growing up, even though I was the leader of the wrong crowd, nothing ever happened to me. I always looked out for him. Always, when the mama say, "Big Head, bring my son back home," I brought him back home. You feel me? Like, everybody was safe. Once they start doing their own thing, going their own route, and listening to the haters and all that, that's when they start getting knocked off. When they start, you know, not knowing my philosophy, but my philosophy was for us all to make it, for us all to survive, for us all to help our moms and dads and whoever we had to help. That's what my philosophy was. But I didn't know that as time changed, they would change. Like, none of us said, "I'm gonna hate you when I grow up," or "I'm gonna be a loser when I grow up," or "I'm gonna be a drug addict when I grow up," or "I'm gonna be a couple of them might have said a killer," but, you know, we ain't gonna talk about that. But, you know, they wasn't saying there was gonna be negative things when they grow up. But when you look at them now, they negative. So they bitter. And it's like, I'm like, okay, I was the poorest nigga in the neighborhood. So when you was the poorest nigga in the neighborhood, and the neighborhood still poor,
how can I lose when I came here with nothing?
you know, it's like, that make the whole neighborhood hate you though. When you go from the poorest nigga, and you ain't even allowed in their house. Nah, he too poor to come in here. He too dusty. I don't want him around. He can't hang with my children. He can't go in my car. The same people. Y'all ain't done shit. But sat here in the same spot, in the same neighborhood, talk the same shit all these years. All y'all I went to school with had y'all school shoes, y'all school clothes, y'all pen, paper, pad. All y'all ain't shit. And you mad at me.
You went through it early, man. You was able, you knew how to navigate. Once you was adult and had to really make them decisions for yourself.
Right.
That's why you made it. You survived.
Mm-hmm.
Out the mud entertainment.
And I tried, like I say, I didn't despise nobody because of what they had. I knew at one point, that minds would lead the situation. The strongest mind would lead the situation. So I wasn't never tripping about what nobody had. It ain't about what somebody got. It's just about dignity. People just, when you be undermined for so long, man, that shit go to eating you up, man. Like I could have helped people been rich right now, but they don't want to see me with it. So they'll pull themselves down not to help me up. And I'll be like, well, go ahead.
Man,
Go ahead.
you gave us a lot of game today. Trench Talk TV, we appreciate you. Man, you got any upcoming projects?
Man, I got that Mud Pressure coming out, bro. It's coming out real soon. And it's produced by 627J and Lee King. And I'm going to say that what happened was them dudes felt like I never got a chance to get the first priority at the beats. I never had the beats to take my lyrics to the next level. I always had to get the last choice. I always had to get the okay beats and make a good song out of an okay beat. So they was like, well, we're going to get you some good beats. We're going to get you some good quality beats, some good quality sound, and we're going to show them. And that's what we did. Mud Pressure, you heard me. It's going to drop on the 19th. So it'll probably be dropped by the time this come out. So I want all y'all to go download that Mud Pressure right now because it's going to be out when y'all see it. But, yeah, definitely. And like I said, I got that Not On My Watch. That's truly my passion, but that's given. So I take the residuals from the music and what I can, I put into Not On My Watch. I try to give when I can. I try to help people with personal things, like with what they need, because the government don't help. Like the government have a way to pay itself. They might, if you go look right now at them boxes of food, they giving everybody boxes of food. If you open it up, they don't got one name brand item in that box. They got nothing but items you never even saw before. You know why? Because they got people in the country making those items, putting them in them boxes, shipping them in them, and they making capital off the government. Them could be Fruit Loops and Cheerios and fresh milk and the stuff you see in Walmart. This don't gotta be stuff we never seen before that they giving away. But they know ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Right. They know who, like say for instance, Pat Coat for Kids. You've been doing this for years. You get used coats, but you capitalizing off the new money, the money you getting off the new coat. Why you can't get a little Nike check on them coats? Yeah. Why they gotta look like free coats when these children go to school? Why they can't look like the rest of them? Same thing with the book sacks. Okay, Mr. Lawyer or Mr. Who. Now, I ain't gonna lie, the lawyers might go get some Jan Sports or some Vans or something, but let it just be an organization for the government.
They're gonna go to cheap route.
Yeah, and they might say we giving out 100, 1,000 book sacks, but them book sacks can't even hold the books. By the time the first day of school, the handle broke. One of the straps done popped. Like, is you really helping or is you helping yourself? But you have to be, like I said, you got to be able to give to get involved in all that. But you know, like, people just got to speak up. People got to say something. People like Boosie, LeBron James, you know, it's levels to it. So whatever level you on, that's what you say up. Okay, LeBron, you got to deal with Nike. All you got to say is, look, Pat, or it ain't got to be LeBron, it can be somebody from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We know somebody got to deal with Nike. Look, man, we need to have a check on them jackets. That money you getting for them coats, give it to Nike. Don't put it in your pocket. Don't give it to the government. Give it to Nike. And they're going to give you as many or as more coats. Because the coats, they'll cost $5. Coming from Nike, if you give them that check, they can make you red, black, blue, whatever color you want. Yeah. But you got to go straight to them. But they ain't doing that. They just trying to, like I say, in them boxes, that could be Fruit Loops.
Man, we appreciate you doing what you're doing. Not on my watch organization, man. Let them know where they can go. If y'all want to contribute something to that organization, let them know where they can contact
definitely. You not on my watch have a cash app, and not on my watch have a number. You heard me? So, and it has a IG page, so you can cash out not on my watch at not on my watch 00, which is eyes for the watch, and the Instagram is not on my watch, and the number. I could update you with the number a little later, but it definitely have a number, a line, so you can call if you need help, or you can DM me if you need help. You know, if there's certain things you need that you can't afford, and you need them household items, whatever, I'm going to see if they got somebody that can afford to help you. Right. That's my job. You heard, I ain't rich, I ain't got it, but the rich done used me up for so long, I can at least contact them. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like an in-between, you know, and I'm gonna stretch out into Houston, into other areas, and, you know, like, I'm gonna just try to, you know, not take that one step back, because one step back is the poverty for me. So I'm like right in front of the poverty line, but if I take one step back, it's back in the poverty. So I got to move forward, and I gotta try to help, because that's what counts. When you by yourself, you know, that's all you can say. Like, okay, like, I helped, but like I said, it don't help you, but it count. It won't help your bank account. It won't help your household, but it'll help you spiritually and mentally, and you know, it'll make you feel like you doing your part as a humanitarian in this world, and that's not on my watch. It's more about, you know, us being cohabitating and not watching people throw their life away. Not watching this happen, like not condoning in unnecessary stuff like that. Like sometimes people get killed from watching. You don't watch, you don't get killed. That's simple. You know, you don't instigate, it don't escalate. You know, like I was putting commercials on the radio, but the radio overcharging me because they know it's just me. And they know I'm trying to get my point across, so they like, this is meaningless. So we don't know what your motive is, but if it's truly from your heart, we're going to charge you this much. And they know I'm going to pay it, because it's like, I get to express my heart. But then once I run out of revenue, ain't like they're going to play it one time for free. And it's a message. You know, like, the last message was about, you know, I did a little song called Not On My Watch, and it was like self-extinction. We headed for self-extinction, not on my watch. And we did a song, but I did the commercial, and I was just talking about, you know, how stuff escalated and not letting it escalate, and, you know, not watching and not paying attention, you know, all the right stuff. So shout out to Tank Jones. Tank Jones asked me, like, well, you know, like, why you don't have your all your info and all that tacked on to it? I say, well, I only got 59 seconds. And I feel like the message is more important than giving out my info. So I got to get a message out. He was like, well, just try to put the info down there, because I don't understand, like, you know, why you doing that and it don't have no trail to come back to you. And I'm like, everything don't got to come back, because something you display for God and it'll come back through God. So I roll with it like that. But it's definitely real, and it's going to Hopefully it'll help and it'll curb, senseless acts, violence. But I mean, it don't matter from what level, from the tallest level of government on down to the trenches, as long as it's not law enforcement, because like I said, bro, I live by the code. Now, I don't enforce the code, but I live by the code within myself. So I don't get out my character. Because when you make an agreement with God, you honor that agreement. And that's how you live. Whatever that agreement you make with God, you honor that agreement. And that was part of it. So I don't do nothing wrong, and I don't pay attention to nothing wrong. Not on my watch mean I'm not even finna watch that. So I don't see nothing wrong. You feel me? But if a civilian do, be a civilian. If you a good guy, and you a law-abiding citizen, and you see me committing a crime, I don't hold you at fault for telling me. I don't. I honor you for telling on me. Because you're doing your job as a citizen, as a humanitarian, as a law-abiding person. That's all you do. So no civilian could never be a rat. Rats came from the mob. And how they had to be rats, they had to sign up for the mob first. They had to join the mob. Then they wasn't signing up rats. They was regular people. But then once you joined the mob and you told, you became a rat. But just a regular person was just a regular person. You never can call it a rat.
Man, I hope all my viewers get out of this what I'm getting out of it, man. Y'all make conscious decisions out there. When y'all make them conscious decisions, make sure y'all gonna stand on it. And most of all, man, when you grow up, speak up. When you grow up, stand up.
Right.
And man, like I said, man, we appreciate them gems you dropped on us today.
Man, brother, I appreciate y'all having me. And I'm solely out the trenches. Straight out the gutter, the streets, the slums, and 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So I feel right at home, and I felt comfortable in saying what I said. And I hope I didn't say nothing for nobody to take the wrong way. I feel like I was trying to disrespect them because as long as I ain't incriminating nobody, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say.
Everybody entitled to a point of view.
You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. That's the only thing I don't believe in is incriminating nobody or nothing like that, because I know that they be listening. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I'm gonna just speak the facts, and everything I said was factual. I didn't want to lie, and you can call me back on anything I said. I'll come back. You can say, well, remember that, let's go from there. I don't have no problem with that. Shout out to everybody I mentioned, because some people don't mention people. But these people that I mentioned, they my family.
All part of your story.
Yeah, so if you can't mention them, then that take away from, the whole significance of it. So, it ain't, that's capping, when you gotta hide and this and that. Like, nah, it don't work like that. And like you say, man, people need to hold themselves accountable. And, don't get in trouble if you ain't about trouble. You know what I'm saying? Stay out of trouble. And there ain't nothing in jail for you. You know what I'm saying? When you go to jail, you're gonna have to have your health up, because you're gonna take tests. And if you got anything, they're gonna tell everybody in the cell or in the medical tank with you before you even get back in the medical tank. They're gonna know what your results is before you know. You feel me? The free people gonna make you bust your ass back. Yeah, they're gonna do all that. So think about that before you get yourself in any trouble. Because you ain't about that. And I'm not saying you ain't a man or you ain't a young man. I'm just saying that that's not what you designed. That's not what God made you for, to be in a cage, be in control. I've been in there. I'm institutionalized. You heard me? Like I know how it feels. That take away a part of my life every day. You heard me? Don't go through that. Hold your head up, hold your chin up, be a proud black man. What happened to those? You don't have to be a proud gang member. You don't have to be a proud this or that. You could be yourself and be a proud person of yourself. And that's what I do. And that's how I lasted this long. And nobody never gave me nothing. I never got inherited nothing. Nobody handed me down nothing. I ain't got no rap check. I don't get royalties. I don't get nothing. I just get straight out the streets. I try to help artists. I try to help, people. I promote. I do whatever I can. My Instagram, Big Head the Dome Doctor. My Facebook, Big Head the Dome Doctor. So if you need me to politic and network for you, hit me up because I don't mind. Just know, help me help you. And I'm going to go and sign out. But like I say, we appreciate y'all chilling and politicking and paying attention because it's real vital. You heard me? Trench Talk TV. So that's what it's going to sound like. It ain't going to sound like nothing sugar-coated. It ain't going to sound like what you want to hear. It's going to be trench talk. So if you from the trenches or you got somebody in the trenches, you'll understand. But other than that, do your research, do your homework, Google me, you heard me? Ask the streets, before Google, whatever you want to do. This your boy Big Head the Dome Doctor, you heard me? Out the Mud Entertainment. And I got the Struggle Baby, it's out on all platforms now. I got the OTM, We the Best, out on all platforms now. Shout out to Mobo Joe and Fo Shab. We got that Veterans Day collab, 22504, and I got that Mud Pressure coming on the way. You heard me? Produced by 627J and Ken on the beat. I got 2 songs on there with Lady Kim. Shout out to her. She should be showing up pretty soon. I don't know, because I don't know if she's from the trenches. But that's my little sister, and she got her a little run with Chitlin. You feel what I'm saying? So I know she got a story to tell about that. So shout out to her. And from there, that's what it is, man. Big Head the Dome Doctor, 2022. You heard me? I appreciate you having me here, and that's a bet.
And we're going to leave it like that, man. That's Big Head the Dome Doctor, and we hope to catch up with you in a couple months.
Already, man. What up, though?